Hello friends, welcome to Book Bites. Today we'll talk about book The 5 Love Languages of Children. Dr. Gary Chapman and Ross Campbell present a groundbreaking approach to parenting, focusing on understanding and speaking the love languages of children. The concept of love languages, originally introduced by Dr. Chapman in his best-selling book, The 5 Love Languages, is extended to children to help parents develop deeper connections with their kids and create a nurturing environment where children feel truly loved. The premise of the book is based on the idea that children, like adults, have unique ways of expressing and receiving love. By understanding these love languages, parents can tailor their parenting styles to meet their child's emotional needs, creating stronger bonds and reducing miscommunication. The book categorizes 5 distinct love languages: physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and receiving gifts. Each language represents a different way that children may feel loved and valued. Dr. Chapman and Dr. Campbell explain that just as adults may prefer certain ways of receiving love, children also have primary love languages that deeply affect their behavior, emotions, and relationships. When a child's love language is understood and spoken fluently by their parents, they are more likely to thrive emotionally and feel secure, confident, and understood. This book not only provides an insightful explanation of the love languages, but also offers practical strategies and examples for parents to identify their child's unique love language. Understanding the love language of your child helps to prevent misunderstandings and allows you to provide them with the emotional support they need. Through this, children are better equipped to express love, build relationships, and navigate their world with a strong sense of self-worth and emotional stability. As parents implement the love languages in their homes, they discover that a simple shift in approach can lead to profound changes in their child's behavior, self-esteem, and overall well-being. This approach enhances the parent-child relationship and creates an atmosphere of love, respect, and understanding that is crucial for the child's emotional development. Let's explore the concepts of the book, breaking them down point by point and refining the explanation to ensure clarity and precision. Point 1. Understanding the 5 love languages. The first key concept in the 5 love languages of children is understanding what the 5 love languages are and how they manifest in children. These love languages are the ways in which children experience and express love. Just as in adult relationships, a child's emotional needs and expressions of affection can be categorized into 5 distinct areas: physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and receiving gifts. 1. Physical touch. Physical touch is the most straightforward love language. Children with this love language feel most loved when they receive physical affection from their parents, such as hugs, kisses, holding hands, or sitting on their lap. This physical closeness reassures them that they are loved and cared for. For children who prefer physical touch, withholding affection can make them feel neglected or unloved. On the other hand, positive touch can help calm them, reduce anxiety, and build a strong connection with their caregivers. 2. Words of affirmation. Children who speak this love language thrive on verbal expressions of love. Compliments, encouragement, and positive reinforcement help them feel valued and appreciated. A child who responds positively to words of affirmation often needs to hear, "I love you," "I'm proud of you," or "You did a great job." Words hold significant weight for them, and they feel secure and validated when they hear affirming statements from their parents or caregivers. The absence of these affirmations can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. 3. Quality time. For children who speak the love language of quality time, undivided attention from their parents is essential. These children feel most loved when their parents spend time with them, engaging in meaningful activities, and giving them focused attention. It's not about the quantity of time, but the quality time spent together without distractions like phones or television. Simple activities like playing together, talking, or reading a book can deeply connect parents and children. For these children, the presence of a parent is more important than material gifts or other expressions of affection. 4. Acts of service. Children who have acts of service as their primary love language feel loved when others do things for them. It could be as simple as making their favorite meal, tying their shoes, or helping them with homework. When parents serve their children in these ways, the children feel cared for and understood. For them, actions speak louder than words or gifts. However, if their love language is neglected, they may interpret it as indifference or rejection. 5. Receiving gifts. For some children, receiving tangible tokens of love is the most meaningful way to experience affection. This love language is often misunderstood as materialistic, but for these children, gifts symbolize thoughtfulness and consideration. It's not about the value of the gift, but the thought and effort behind it. A small gift, even something handmade, can show a child that they are loved and cared for. Children who speak this language may feel neglected or unloved if their parents don't acknowledge special occasions with gifts or meaningful tokens of affection. By understanding these 5 love languages, parents can better understand how their children express their feelings and how to communicate their love effectively. Each child will have a primary love language, but they may also respond to others to varying degrees. Identifying the dominant love language helps parents speak to their child in a way that resonates deeply with them, making the child feel loved and emotionally secure. Point 2. Identifying your child's primary love language. One of the most crucial aspects of applying the love languages to parenting is identifying your child's primary love language. Every child expresses their love differently, and understanding this helps create a stronger bond. In this section of the 5 love languages of children, Dr. Gary Chapman and Ross Campbell discuss how parents can identify which love language speaks most profoundly to their child. 1. Observing behavior. The first step in identifying your child's love language is by observing their behaviors and reactions. Children often express their emotional needs through their actions. For instance, a child who seeks physical closeness, hugs or cuddles, may have physical touch as their primary love language. A child who regularly seeks verbal praise, encouragement, or likes to express love with words may be inclined towards words of affirmation. Similarly, children who enjoy spending undistracted time with their parents or who request your attention during playtime might respond to quality time. 2. Listening to their words. Children also express their needs and feelings through the words they use. For example, a child who says things like "I love you" or "I'm proud of you" might have words of affirmation as their primary love language. Likewise, a child who asks for your help or does things for you might lean towards acts of service. Observing the language your child uses, such as frequently expressing the need for attention or showing appreciation, helps you pinpoint their primary love language. 3. Assessing their reactions. Another way to identify a child's love language is to notice their reactions to various expressions of affection. When you provide a child with a particular type of affection, observe how they respond. Do they light up when you praise them verbally? Do they seem to thrive on physical hugs and closeness? Or do they get upset if you don't spend one-on-one time with them? These reactions give you a clear idea of what makes them feel most loved and secure. 4. Trial and error. While some children's love languages are evident, others may require more exploration. Parents can experiment with all 5 love languages by deliberately trying out different ways of expressing affection. For instance, try giving a child physical affection or acts of service for a week and observe their reactions. If they respond positively, that may be a key indicator of their love language. It's important to be patient during this process because identifying the primary language can take time. 5. Combining clues. Some children may not have a single dominant love language. Instead, they may express a combination of different love languages, though one is typically more prominent. For example, a child may appreciate a hug, physical touch and verbal praise, words of affirmation, but one of these will be more significant to them. By combining all the clues from their behavior, words and reactions, parents can accurately determine their child's primary love language. 6. Cultural and contextual influence. Children's needs can also be influenced by cultural or family dynamics. Some children may have specific needs based on their environment, experiences, or even temperament. A child's preferences for a particular love language may change over time, especially as they grow older or face new challenges. Parents should remain flexible and open to adjusting their expressions of love as the child's needs evolve. Once the primary love language is identified, parents can begin to tailor their approach to meeting their child's emotional needs. This individualized attention helps foster a stronger emotional bond and a sense of security, as children feel understood and validated in the way they experience love. Point 3. Words of affirmation. Words of affirmation is one of the 5 love languages discussed in the 5 love languages of children. This language is particularly important for children who thrive on verbal expressions of affection, encouragement, and appreciation. In this section, Dr. Chapman and Dr. Campbell explore how words can deeply influence a child's sense of worth and emotional well-being. 1. The power of positive words. For children who speak the language of words of affirmation, The words they hear play a critical role in shaping their self-esteem and emotional security. Words of praise, encouragement, and kindness can build confidence and help them feel loved. Whether it's complimenting a child's effort in school or acknowledging their kindness towards others, positive words contribute to a child's belief in themselves. Conversely, negative or harsh words can have a lasting negative impact, leading to feelings of inadequacy or low self-worth. 2. Encouragement versus praise. There's a distinction between encouragement and praise, and this is essential to understand when using words of affirmation. Praise is often focused on the outcome or the child's abilities, such as saying, "You're so smart," or "You did a great job." While praise can be positive, it often ties a child's self-worth to external accomplishments. Encouragement, on the other hand, emphasizes effort and process, such as saying, "I'm proud of you for trying your best," or "You worked really hard." Encouragement helps children internalize the value of perseverance and effort rather than just the outcome, which can support them in handling challenges and setbacks. 3. The importance of specificity. Vague compliments like "good job" can feel impersonal or insincere, especially for children who value words of affirmation. Specificity in the words you use shows that you're paying attention to the effort and progress they're making. For instance, instead of saying "You're a good artist," say "I love how you paid attention to the details in your drawing." This shows that you recognize and appreciate the child's unique qualities and contributions. Being specific in your praise can make the child feel seen and understood. 4. Affirming identity and emotions. Children who need words of affirmation also benefit from hearing affirmations that validate their feelings and identity. For example, when a child is upset, saying something like "I can see that you're feeling frustrated and that's okay," lets them know their feelings matter. Affirming a child's emotions helps them learn to manage and express feelings more healthily. Additionally, affirming a child's identity with phrases like "You are a kind and thoughtful person" reinforces their understanding of who they are and can help build their emotional resilience. 5. Verbal touch. For children who resonate with words of affirmation, verbal expressions of affection can act as a verbal touch. This type of love language might be just as significant as physical affection. Regular verbal affirmations, such as "I love you," "I'm proud of you," and "You mean so much to me," are critical for children to feel secure in their relationships. These words help establish an emotional connection between the parent and the child, providing comfort and reassurance, especially in times of difficulty. 6. Consistency is key. Like all love languages, consistency is essential when using words of affirmation. Children need to hear affirming words regularly to develop a strong sense of love and security. These affirmations should be spontaneous and genuine, not forced or overly rehearsed. Consistent and authentic verbal expressions of love will help foster a healthy emotional connection between parents and children. 7. Building self-esteem. A key benefit of words of affirmation is the role they play in developing a child's self-esteem. When children hear positive and loving words, they begin to internalize these affirmations and see themselves as worthy of love and respect. This is especially important in shaping a child's identity and helping them feel confident in their abilities and decisions. By offering words of affirmation, parents lay the foundation for their child to develop a strong positive sense of self. 8. Timing and delivery. The timing and delivery of words of affirmation matter significantly. A compliment or encouraging word can be most powerful when given at the right moment, such as after a child has struggled or tried something new. If delivered too early or too late, the impact may be less meaningful. The tone, body language, and facial expressions that accompany verbal affirmations are also important, as they reinforce the sincerity of the words being said. 9. Creating a safe space for communication. Children who value words of affirmation need to feel safe and heard when communicating with their parents. A loving and affirming communication environment makes it easier for children to express their needs and emotions. It also encourages them to use words themselves to affirm others, promoting a cycle of positive and supportive interactions within the family. 10. Avoiding criticism and negative language. For children whose primary love language is words of affirmation, criticism and harsh language can be particularly damaging. Negative words or comments can lead to feelings of inadequacy or low self-esteem. Parents should aim to address misbehaviors in a constructive manner, focusing on the child's actions rather than their character. For instance, instead of saying "You're lazy," parents can say "I know you can do better next time," to encourage growth while still maintaining a positive, supportive atmosphere. In summary, words of affirmation are a powerful tool for nurturing a child's emotional well-being. By offering specific, positive, and genuine verbal expressions, parents can help their children feel loved, valued, and confident in themselves. This love language builds a foundation of trust and emotional security that supports the child's development. Point 4. Quality time. For children whose primary love language is quality time, spending undivided attention with them is vital for their emotional well-being. In the 5 love languages of children, Dr. Chapman and Dr. Campbell explore how meaningful, uninterrupted time with a child fosters a deep emotional connection and creates lasting memories. 1. The importance of presence. Quality time isn't about being physically present while distracted by other tasks. It's about giving the child your full, undivided attention. This means setting aside time to engage with them fully, without distractions from phones, TV, or work. When children feel they have your attention, they feel loved and prioritized. They value moments where you are actively engaged in an activity together, whether it's reading a book, playing a game, or simply having a conversation. These moments reassure them that they are important to you. Shared activities. The most effective way to engage in quality time is through shared activities that both parent and child enjoy. Whether it's playing sports, going for a walk, or creating art together, these activities provide a platform for meaningful interaction. Shared experiences help parents understand their child's interests and personality, and they encourage open communication. The key here is that the activity should be something that allows for connection, rather than something that simply fills time. The goal is to enjoy each other's company and create an environment where the child feels heard, seen, and valued. 3. Consistency and routine. Consistent, scheduled moments of quality time can be just as valuable as spontaneous ones. Children thrive on routine and knowing that there is a dedicated time each day or week where they have their parents' undivided attention. This could be a special time after school where the parent listens to the child's day or a weekly outing. These predictable moments of bonding create a sense of stability and security, which is essential for building a strong emotional connection. Over time, children come to expect and cherish these moments, making them a cornerstone of a loving, supportive relationship. 4. Active listening. A critical component of quality time is active listening. This means not only hearing what the child is saying, but also engaging with them in a way that shows empathy and understanding. It involves asking open-ended questions to encourage the child to express their thoughts and feelings, validating their emotions, and responding thoughtfully. Active listening helps build trust and ensures the child feels that their voice matters. It fosters a connection that goes beyond physical proximity, allowing the child to feel emotionally connected to the parent. 5. Spontaneity and surprise. While routines and scheduled moments are important, spontaneous moments of quality time also play a key role in keeping the bond strong. Sometimes, taking an unexpected detour to the park or initiating a surprise activity can provide a new joyful experience for the child. These unplanned moments can create special memories and reinforce the idea that their parents' time is a gift, given freely and joyfully. The unexpected nature of these moments helps break the routine and adds an element of excitement to the relationship. 6. One-on-one time. Many families are busy, and children often have to share their parents' time with siblings or other responsibilities. For children whose love language is quality time, it is especially important to have one-on-one time with their parent. This allows the child to feel special and reinforces the parent-child bond. The focused attention a child receives during these one-on-one interactions can make them feel deeply loved and understood. Even short periods of undistracted, individualized time can have a significant positive impact on the child's emotional health. 7. Incorporating play. Play is a natural way to spend quality time with children, and it is essential for their development. Whether it's structured play, like playing a game, or unstructured play, like imaginative play, engaging with children through play provides an opportunity to bond while allowing the child to express themselves creatively. Play also offers a way to address emotional or behavioral issues in a less formal way. It can be an opportunity for the child to feel heard and understood while navigating complex emotions or challenging situations in a playful environment. 8. Involvement in daily activities. Quality time can also be spent through simple everyday tasks that provide an opportunity for connection. Cooking together, cleaning up, running errands, or doing a craft are all ways to include the child in the daily rhythm of life. These moments provide opportunities for conversation, collaboration, and teaching moments. The emphasis is not on the task itself, but on the shared experience and the quality of attention the child receives. These moments help children feel important and valued, even in the midst of routine tasks. 9. The role of nonverbal communication. While quality time often involves verbal communication, non-verbal gestures can play an equally important role. A hug, a touch on the shoulder, or a smile during shared moments can convey love and care. For children whose love language is quality time, non-verbal cues like these can strengthen the emotional bond and communicate affection without words. They create a sense of comfort and reassurance, letting the child know that the parent is emotionally present and engaged. 10. Recognizing signs of need. Children who prioritize quality time may express their desire for more attention in subtle ways, such as acting out or seeking attention during times when they typically wouldn't. It's important for parents to recognize these signs and respond accordingly. Sometimes children just need to be reassured by having more time with their parent, and understanding this need allows parents to nurture the child's emotional health effectively. By observing the child's behavior and adjusting the amount of time spent together, parents can help meet their child's love needs in a compassionate and supportive way. In conclusion, quality time is about more than just being present in the same room. It involves making intentional efforts to be emotionally and physically engaged, which helps foster deep connections and strengthens the bond between parent and child. Through activities, conversations, and simple shared moments, children whose primary love language is quality time experience love, security, and emotional fulfillment. Point 5. Physical touch. Physical touch is one of the most powerful and direct ways to communicate love to a child. In the 5 love languages of children, Dr. Chapman and Dr. Campbell explain how essential it is for parents to understand the role of physical affection in expressing love, particularly for children whose primary love language is physical touch. For these children, touch is not only a way to show affection, but it is also a core part of how they feel secure and connected. 1. The power of a hug. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to show love through physical touch is through hugging. For children whose love language is physical touch, a hug isn't just a comforting gesture, it's a crucial emotional experience. Hugs release oxytocin, a hormone that promotes bonding and reduces stress, making children feel safe and loved. For a child who craves physical touch, regular hugs can make them feel emotionally secure. A quick hug can ease anxiety, calm fears, and reassure the child that they are cared for. 2. Gentle touch for reassurance. Sometimes, a gentle touch such as a pat on the back, a hand on the shoulder, or holding hands can be more meaningful than words. This non-verbal form of affection helps children feel that they are supported, understood, and loved. These gestures are particularly helpful during stressful situations or moments of emotional turmoil. Physical touch acts as a silent reassurance, telling the child that no matter what happens, they are not alone. It creates a sense of safety and trust between the child and the parent. 3. Affectionate gestures throughout the day. Physical touch can be woven throughout daily activities in subtle, loving ways. Whether it's a light touch on the arm while talking, a playful squeeze during a shared activity, or simply holding hands while walking together, these small gestures communicate affection and support. The consistency of these affectionate actions throughout the day can help children feel a constant sense of warmth and security. It's not just about big gestures, but about maintaining a gentle, loving presence in small everyday actions. 4. The importance of physical contact in difficult times. Physical touch can be especially important when a child is facing challenges or emotional distress. In moments of conflict, frustration, or fear, a parent's touch can act as a grounding mechanism, providing comfort and emotional support. For children whose primary love language is physical touch, this kind of support can help them regulate their emotions and feel calmer. For instance, offering a hug during a tantrum or a comforting touch when they are upset can diffuse the situation and allow the child to feel loved, even in difficult moments. 5. Setting boundaries with love. Physical touch is a powerful tool for showing love, but it also plays an important role in teaching children about boundaries. Teaching children to respect others' personal space while still offering affection is essential. By providing touch in a respectful and appropriate manner, parents model healthy boundaries. It's important to ensure that physical touch is used as a way to nurture, not control or manipulate. Teaching children that touch is a way to express care while respecting each other's limits helps them learn how to navigate relationships and boundaries effectively. 6. Physical touch as a form of discipline. In the 5 love languages of children, Dr. Chapman and Dr. Campbell also discuss how physical touch can play a role in discipline. When a child is misbehaving, a parent can use a gentle touch to calm the child down before giving any instructions. For example, placing a hand on the child's arm or shoulder can help them refocus and feel more centered. However, it's important to remember that touch should never be used in a way that is aggressive or punitive. Instead, it should be a tool to guide the child toward better behavior while also maintaining a loving, caring connection. 7. The role of physical touch in strengthening bonds. Physical touch is vital for building and strengthening the bond between a parent and child. For children who speak the language of physical touch, these gestures are not just comforting, they are essential for building a deep emotional connection. Regular physical affection helps to build trust and intimacy, making children feel valued and understood. As the relationship deepens through consistent and loving touch, children are more likely to feel secure, which enhances their overall emotional development. 8. Cultural and individual differences in physical touch. While physical touch is important for many children, it's also essential to be aware of cultural and individual differences in how children express and receive affection. Some cultures may be less demonstrative with physical affection, while others may place a higher emphasis on it. It's also important to recognize that some children may not seek physical touch as much as others, and parents should respect these differences while still offering affection in a way that feels comfortable and natural for the child. 9. Affectionate touch to prevent behavioral issues. Children who experience consistent, loving physical touch are less likely to act out in search of attention. When a child's love language is physical touch, meeting their need for affection reduces the likelihood of behavioral problems stemming from emotional neglect. Touching a child lovingly sends the message that they are loved unconditionally, and this reassurance often results in positive behavior. A well-timed hug or a touch during challenging moments helps children feel that they are seen and valued, reducing emotional distress and improving behavior. 10. Building self-esteem through touch. For children whose primary love language is physical touch, affection directly affects their self-esteem. When children receive consistent physical affection, they feel validated, loved, and worthy of attention. This boosts their self-confidence and helps them develop a healthy sense of self-worth. In turn, they are more likely to show affection toward others, demonstrating the power of physical touch in creating a cycle of love and positivity. By nurturing children with love through physical touch, parents can help build strong emotional foundations that support their overall development. In conclusion, physical touch is an incredibly powerful tool for communicating love to children. It provides comfort, reassurance, and security, particularly for children who thrive on tactile affection. When used consistently, it strengthens the parent-child bond and helps children feel valued and understood. By using physical touch in a thoughtful, respectful manner, parents can support their child's emotional development and foster a loving, supportive relationship. Point 6. Acts of service. Acts of service as a love language involves doing helpful or kind things for your child that show them they are loved and cared for. In the 5 love languages of children, Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Ross Campbell explain that children who feel most loved when others help them may not respond as strongly to verbal affirmations or physical affection. Instead, they feel secure and valued when parents perform thoughtful actions to make their life easier or better. This love language is about action more than words. 1. What acts of service mean for children? For children who speak this love language, love is shown through practical help. Simple things like helping them with a difficult project, fixing a broken toy, or preparing their favorite meal speak volumes. These acts reassure the child that they are supported and not alone. It tells them, "You are important and I care about your needs." Even small gestures, when done consistently, can fulfill this emotional need and make a big impact on their sense of connection. 2. Meeting needs without creating dependency. One challenge with this love language is finding the balance between helping your child and allowing them to develop independence. Parents might worry that too many acts of service could make the child dependent. However, Chapman and Campbell clarify that the goal is not to do everything for the child, but to serve them in loving, thoughtful ways, especially when they need support. Over time, as children feel secure in that love, they are more likely to develop the confidence to do things on their own. 3. Teaching through serving. Acts of service are also an opportunity to teach life skills. For example, helping your child clean their room or bake a cake can be both a way of serving and teaching. In these moments, you model cooperation, responsibility, and kindness. Children also learn how to serve others by watching how their parents serve them. When they see their parents willingly help them, they are more likely to mirror that behavior with their siblings, friends, and even adults. 4. Service in times of stress. This love language becomes especially powerful during times of difficulty. If a child is overwhelmed with homework or anxious about a social situation, stepping in to help without taking over can be a deeply affirming act. It shows empathy and attentiveness. For example, sitting beside them to talk through a problem or offering to walk them into school if they're nervous demonstrates emotional support through action. This builds trust and emotional closeness. 5. Acts of service in everyday routines. You don't need grand gestures to speak this love language. Everyday routines, making a lunchbox, folding their clothes neatly, or organizing their school bag, can all be seen as acts of service. When done with love and presence, these tasks are more than chores. They become expressions of love. Children notice when their parents make these efforts consistently, and for those who value acts of service, such gestures leave a lasting emotional impact. 6. Listening to requests as clues. Children who speak this love language often give clues through their requests. Statements like "Can you help me with this?" or "Can you tuck me in?" may not just be about the task, but about feeling loved. Responding kindly and patiently to such requests fulfills more than a physical need, it satisfies their emotional need for connection. Ignoring these requests repeatedly, on the other hand, can lead to feelings of rejection or neglect for such children. 7. Avoiding resentment and burnout. While acts of service are important, it's also essential for parents to avoid becoming resentful or overburdened. The key is to perform these acts with a cheerful heart. If done with frustration or obligation, the child may sense the resentment, which can diminish the positive emotional impact. Setting boundaries while still being present and helpful ensures that acts of service remain joyful and sincere, maintaining their emotional value. 8. Incorporating rituals of service. Creating rituals around acts of service, like Sunday pancakes, evening reading sessions, or helping with homework at the same time each day, can deepen the sense of security and routine for a child. These rituals also become memories the child cherishes, reinforcing the bond between parent and child. Predictability in these acts builds trust and emotional safety. 9. Service without expecting return. One of the core lessons children learn when acts of service are used consistently is the beauty of unconditional love. They experience love as a gift, not something earned. This helps them develop their sense of worth and also teaches them how to love others without expectation. This emotional lesson is one of the most profound gifts a parent can offer through this love language. 10. Nurturing compassion through example. Finally, when children are served with kindness, they often grow up to be compassionate and empathetic individuals. They learn that helping others is an act of love, not obligation. When parents show up for their children consistently through kind actions, it fosters a deeper sense of humanity, generosity, and emotional awareness in the child, traits that benefit them throughout life. Point 7. Physical touch. Physical touch is a powerful and universal love language, and in the 5 love languages of children, Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Ross Campbell emphasize its profound impact on a child's emotional well-being. For children whose primary love language is physical touch, actions such as hugs, kisses, holding hands, or even a gentle touch on the shoulder convey love and security. This love language is particularly important in early childhood, where physical affection creates a foundation of trust and comfort. 1. The power of physical contact. Physical touch is not just about affection, it's a fundamental form of communication. For children, especially those with this love language, touch provides a sense of safety and connection. A hug can calm anxiety, a kiss can show care, and holding hands can make a child feel loved and understood. The consistency of physical touch helps to regulate emotions, reduce stress, and create a sense of belonging. For these children, the simple act of being physically close to their parents or caregivers is one of the most direct ways to feel loved. 2. Physical touch and emotional development. Physical touch is crucial in emotional development, particularly during the early years of life. Infants and toddlers rely on touch to establish bonds and understand the world around them. A warm embrace, a gentle pat on the back, or cuddling provides a child with the emotional nutrients needed to develop confidence and self-esteem. As children grow, this physical closeness remains a key element in maintaining strong emotional bonds with their parents. 3. Reading the child's needs for touch. Children who speak the love language of physical touch may express their need for closeness in subtle or direct ways. They might seek out hugs, snuggle on the couch, or even initiate physical closeness during stressful situations. Parents need to be attentive to these cues and respond appropriately. Recognizing when a child wants or needs a touch to feel reassured is a form of emotional attunement, being in tune with their needs in a way that builds trust and emotional security. 4. The impact of consistent touch. Consistency is vital in speaking the love language of touch. For children who need physical touch, having regular moments of closeness, such as a hug before school or a cuddle before bed, creates a predictable emotional foundation. This consistency helps children feel safe and connected, even in the midst of challenging moments. It also fosters a sense of unconditional love, as physical touch is often seen as a form of love that doesn't require words or actions. 5. Touch as a calming mechanism. For many children, physical touch is a natural way to calm down during moments of frustration or distress. A parent who offers a comforting hug or simply holds their child's hand during a difficult moment can help regulate the child's emotions. This is especially important for children who may struggle with self-regulation. When parents use touch as a tool for calming, they are not only showing love but also teaching the child how to manage their own emotions effectively. 6. Physical touch in challenging moments. While it's easy to associate physical touch with affection in positive moments, it's also important during difficult situations. A child who is upset, angry, or anxious may find comfort in physical touch. Whether it's holding them when they are sad or giving them a reassuring pat on the back when they are upset, touch conveys empathy and care during moments of emotional vulnerability. Parents should be aware of the child's emotional state and respond with the appropriate level of physical closeness. 7. Setting boundaries with touch. While physical touch is essential, it is also important to teach children about boundaries. Touch should be respectful and consensual. Parents must model healthy boundaries by respecting their child's personal space when needed. Some children may prefer less touch during certain times, and parents should be sensitive to these preferences. By respecting their child's boundaries, parents also teach them about consent and the importance of respecting others' comfort levels. 8. The role of physical touch in building self-esteem. For children whose love language is physical touch, positive, affectionate touch from parents can significantly impact their self-esteem. Feeling physically loved helps children feel valued and secure, which builds a strong sense of self-worth. For example, a simple gesture like a hug after an accomplishment or a high five for a job well done reinforces their sense of achievement and importance. These moments of recognition through touch can be more meaningful than verbal praise alone. 9. Nonverbal communication through touch. For children who struggle with verbal expression, physical touch serves as an important nonverbal communication tool. A child may not have the words to express their emotions, but a hug or a gentle touch can convey their feelings. This is especially true for younger children, or those with developmental challenges, who might find it hard to articulate their needs. Parents who are attuned to the emotional language of physical touch are better able to support their child's emotional development. 10. Touch during adolescence. While physical touch is crucial in early childhood, it remains important as children enter their teenage years. During adolescence, physical touch may become less frequent as children seek more independence, but it is still important. A simple touch, like a pat on the back or a hug, can reassure teens and help them feel loved even as they become more self-reliant. The key is to maintain touch in a way that respects the teen's growing need for autonomy while still offering affection and support. Point 8. Encouraging positive behavior through love languages. A significant theme in the 5 love languages of children is how to use each love language to reinforce positive behavior in children. Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Ross Campbell explain how understanding and speaking a child's love language can lead to more effective discipline and better behavior, ultimately fostering a stronger parent-child bond. Using the child's preferred love language to encourage positive actions aligns their emotional needs with their behaviors. 1. Positive reinforcement through love languages. Children respond best to positive reinforcement that aligns with their unique love language. When parents speak the child's love language, praise and recognition become more meaningful. For example, a child who values words of affirmation will respond positively to verbal praise, while a child who thrives on physical touch may feel appreciated through a hug or a gentle pat on the back after doing something good. The love language acts as a tool to encourage behavior that reflects the child's emotional needs. 2. The role of words and positive reinforcement. Children who value words of affirmation thrive on verbal praise. Recognizing their efforts with kind and encouraging words can increase their self-esteem and motivate them to repeat positive behavior. For example, telling a child, "I'm so proud of how you handled that situation," helps them feel validated and encourages them to act similarly in the future. The key is to make the praise specific to the action to reinforce the behavior in a more meaningful way. 3. Physical touch as positive reinforcement. Physical touch can be an effective way to encourage positive behavior, especially in younger children. When a child has done something praiseworthy, giving them a hug or holding their hand can act as a non-verbal form of reinforcement. Physical touch provides emotional connection and validation, which strengthens the bond between the child and the parent, making the child more likely to continue behaving positively. It's important to use physical touch when the child is seeking closeness, and to avoid overusing it in situations where the child may need space. 4. Acts of service as positive reinforcement. For children who have acts of service as their primary love language, offering to help them with tasks they find difficult, or expressing care through actions can reinforce positive behavior. For instance, if a child helps with chores, a parent might show appreciation by completing a task the child finds hard, like packing their bag for school. This gesture speaks to the child's love language and encourages a continued desire to contribute and act responsibly. 5. Gifts as positive reinforcement. For some children, receiving a gift can be a powerful way to reinforce good behavior. This doesn't mean that gifts should be used as bribes, but rather as a token of appreciation for specific actions. For example, if a child has worked hard on a project, offering a small gift or something they love, like a favorite snack or a book, can make them feel valued and understood. It is important, however, to ensure that gifts are given sparingly and meaningfully, so the child understands that the reward is tied to their behavior. 6. Consistency in reinforcing positive behavior. Consistency is essential when using love languages to reinforce behavior. Children need to know that positive actions will consistently be met with love and recognition in their preferred form. For example, if a child who values words of affirmation does something positive, offering praise consistently will create a pattern that motivates the child to continue such behavior. When reinforcement is sporadic, it can cause confusion and diminish the effectiveness of the praise. 7. Avoiding negative reinforcement in love languages. It's equally important to avoid using a child's love language in a punitive way. For example, withdrawing physical touch, which is used as a primary love language for some children, as a form of punishment can create feelings of rejection and insecurity. Similarly, withholding words of affirmation or acts of service can have a negative impact on a child's emotional well-being. When correcting behavior, it's crucial to speak the child's love language in a constructive way that fosters growth rather than discouragement. 8. Reinforcing emotional regulation. Love languages can also help teach children emotional regulation. For example, a child who needs physical touch to feel grounded may benefit from a calming hug when they are upset. Similarly, a child who values quality time may benefit from a quiet moment together after a difficult emotional experience. Using the child's love language during moments of emotional distress can help them regulate their feelings, calm down, and reflect on their behavior in a positive way. 9. Building trust through consistent love language use. Using love languages consistently to reinforce positive behavior helps to build a sense of trust between parent and child. When children feel consistently supported in their love language, they begin to trust that their emotional needs will be met, which makes them more likely to engage in positive behaviors. Trust is foundational in fostering an environment where positive behavior is nurtured and where children feel safe to express themselves. 10. Tailoring consequences with love languages. Just as love languages can reinforce positive behavior, they can also be used to help children understand the consequences of negative actions. The key is to communicate the consequences in a way that resonates with the child's emotional language. For example, a child who values quality time may feel the impact of losing out on a special one-on-one activity with a parent. Similarly, for a child who values acts of service, offering to take over a task they usually do can be a meaningful way to help them understand the consequences of their actions. Point 9. The power of connecting through love languages. In the 5 love languages of children, one of the core ideas is that connecting with children through their love language creates a foundation for a healthy, strong relationship. Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Ross Campbell explain that by speaking a child's primary love language, parents can foster emotional security, better communication, and a stronger bond. This connection makes children more receptive to guidance and correction as they feel understood and supported. 1. Emotional security through love languages. The foundation of any healthy relationship is emotional security. And when children feel loved in a way that speaks to their unique needs, they develop trust and confidence in their parents. This sense of security allows children to explore the world, take risks, and develop their own identities. When a child feels consistently loved in their preferred love language, they are more likely to feel safe enough to express their needs, thoughts, and emotions openly with their parents. 2. Better communication with children. Effective communication is a vital part of parenting. When parents learn to speak their child's love language, communication becomes more natural and meaningful. For example, a child who values words of affirmation will be more likely to open up when praised or encouraged verbally, while a child who values physical touch may respond better to conversations that involve proximity, such as sitting next to them or holding their hand. This understanding makes it easier for parents to connect emotionally and have more meaningful conversations with their children. 3. Strengthening the parent-child bond. A deep, strong bond between parent and child is critical for the child's emotional well-being. When a parent speaks the child's love language, they form a stronger emotional connection that nurtures mutual understanding, respect, and love. This bond also makes the child feel emotionally nurtured, which can reduce feelings of frustration, anxiety, and behavioral problems. The connection forged through love languages sets the stage for a more harmonious relationship that allows the child to feel valued and heard. 4. Creating a safe space for expression. Children who feel loved in a way that resonates with them are more likely to express themselves freely. For example, children who value quality time may enjoy sharing their thoughts and feelings during one-on-one moments with their parents, while those who value acts of service may communicate their needs through actions. When children feel emotionally connected and safe, they are better able to articulate their emotions, concerns, and desires, which enables parents to provide more effective guidance and support. 5. Reducing behavioral challenges. Many behavioral challenges arise from a lack of connection between parent and child. When parents understand and speak their child's love language, it can help prevent behavioral issues from escalating. For example, a child who feels disconnected due to their emotional needs not being met may act out in an attempt to gain attention. However, when parents address their child's needs by speaking their love language, it reduces the likelihood of these behaviors as the child feels more secure and understood. This approach leads to a more positive and cooperative relationship between the child and parent. 6. Promoting positive self-esteem. Children who feel loved in their primary love language develop higher self-esteem. When a child receives love in a way that resonates with them, they internalize the message that they are valued and important. For instance, a child who thrives on words of affirmation will feel encouraged and confident when they receive praise. This affirmation promotes a positive self-image and helps children navigate the world with more self-assurance. Parents who speak their child's love language consistently send a clear message that the child's worth is not contingent on their behavior, but on who they are as individuals. 7. Supporting emotional development. Love languages also play a key role in emotional development. When children experience love through their preferred love language, they learn to identify, understand, and regulate their own emotions. A child who values physical touch, for example, may use hugs or affectionate gestures to calm themselves when upset. Similarly, a child who prefers quality time may seek one-on-one interactions to process their feelings. Parents can use these emotional cues to guide children in developing healthy emotional habits and coping strategies. 8. Navigating conflict with love languages. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, including the parent-child dynamic. However, when parents understand their child's love language, they can navigate conflicts more effectively. For example, a child who values acts of service may feel hurt if their parent fails to follow through on a promise, while a child who values words of affirmation may be more sensitive to harsh criticism. By speaking the child's love language during conflict, parents can address the issue in a way that fosters resolution rather than deepening the divide. This approach creates a space where the child feels heard and understood, leading to healthier conflict resolution skills in the long term. 9. Building empathy and emotional intelligence. Speaking the child's love language helps parents model empathy and emotional intelligence. By understanding their child's emotional needs, parents teach children how to understand and respect the emotions of others. For instance, a child who values quality time may develop a strong sense of empathy by seeing their parent make time for them consistently. This practice teaches the child to be present and emotionally attuned to others, fostering their emotional intelligence. 10. Using love languages as a tool for personal growth. Understanding and using love languages not only benefits the parent-child relationship, but also contributes to the personal growth of both the parent and the child. Parents who embrace their child's love language learn more about themselves, their values, and their communication styles. They also develop a deeper understanding of human behavior and emotional needs, which helps them grow as individuals. Similarly, children who experience love through their primary language become more emotionally intelligent, compassionate, and capable of building strong positive relationships throughout their lives. Conclusion. The lasting impact of love languages. The Five Love Languages of Children offers a transformative approach to parenting that goes beyond conventional discipline strategies and introduces a deeper, more empathetic way to connect with children. Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Ross Campbell's framework for understanding children's emotional needs and expressing love through their unique love languages can change the way parents engage with their children, creating lasting bonds and fostering healthy emotional development. By speaking the language of love that resonates most with each child, parents provide a nurturing environment where their children feel understood, valued, and secure. The primary takeaway from the book is that children, like adults, have specific ways they receive and express love. These ways are not universal, but unique to each individual, and they form the basis of emotional communication. Whether through words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service, quality time, or gifts, children thrive when their love needs are met in a way that speaks to their heart. By learning and responding to these love languages, parents can avoid many common parenting challenges, such as miscommunication, behavioral problems, and emotional disconnection. The practical implications of the love languages in parenting are profound. When parents consistently speak their child's love language, they build trust and emotional security, which are the cornerstones of a healthy, cooperative relationship. This connection fosters positive behaviors, improves self-esteem, and encourages emotional growth. Moreover, understanding love languages helps parents to guide their children in a way that respects their individuality, teaching them how to navigate their own emotions and build strong, empathetic relationships with others. Ultimately, the Five Love Languages of Children emphasizes the importance of emotional connection in raising well-rounded, emotionally intelligent children. It challenges parents to go beyond surface-level interactions and to make the effort to truly understand their children's emotional needs. By doing so, parents can create an environment where children feel heard, respected, and deeply loved. This book provides not only a toolkit for enhancing parent-child relationships, but also a powerful reminder of the importance of love in shaping a child's future. Through the language of love, parents can raise children who not only feel emotionally fulfilled, but also have the tools to build meaningful connections and navigate life's challenges with resilience and empathy. In this way, the lessons from the Five Love Languages of Children can have a lifelong impact, both on the child and on the parent, fostering a cycle of love, understanding, and emotional growth.